Hi everyone, this is Jess with ourbipolar.com, and today we'll be talking about love and bipolar, which sounds a little bit like Love and Basketball, the movie, which for some reason I have never seen, and that's strange because it sounds like a movie I would watch, so maybe I need to go and watch that after this. Anyway, so today I'm talking about love and bipolar, how if someone in the relationship has bipolar, how it affects the relationship or the marriage. I thought of this topic because, we just had Valentine's Day and everyone's on Facebook, shouting their love from the rooftops. But I do think that the most important relationship in your life is with you. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be open to receiving love from anyone. At least that's how I feel. So, love and bipolar. So, unfortunately, the divorce rate is extremely high for couples where there's at least one person who has bipolar disorder. It's actually 90%. Yeah, that's really high. The divorce rate is already high at 40%, but 90% is a bit daunting. But I do feel that my husband and I will be in that 10% who make it. And I'm going to tell you why. I think it's important to know what the partner of someone with bipolar kind of should look like generally. And I think my husband, Bryan, is like pretty much the perfect example. No one's perfect. I shouldn't say perfect, but he does a really good job of being a supportive partner to someone like me who has bipolar. So Bryan and I met about 13 years ago. It's been a while. We're about to come up on our 10-year wedding anniversary in a couple weeks. Bryan and I met online 13 years ago, which we were in Washington, D.C., so it was, more common in a big city to meet online. But we met on chemistry.com, which was some kind of offshoot of match.com, and I had a free account through match.com. I don't remember how. And Bryan was on chemistry.com for a free weekend. So we were both just like skating by and like trying it out. And then we met each other. So I knew from the very first date that Bryan was someone special. And the way he opened up to me on our first date about a lot of things that, usually you don't talk about on the first date. But it was actually really endearing to me, and it made me feel very safe and comfortable knowing that I had something I'm going to have to tell him if things went well. So because of that, I ended up being very open with him and told him about my bipolar on the third date. So I waited just a little bit longer, but he was very receptive. Honestly, I've never had a boyfriend or a friend, anyone, react badly to finding out I have bipolar for me, telling them. So that says a lot. I think that says a lot for people. People are, better than you expect. But so Bryan and I, things moved very quickly. I kind of held back. And when I say I held back, we moved in together after 6 months. And I actually, we probably could have moved in together sooner. And this was not my style at all. I had never lived with a boyfriend before. So, this was just because it was Bryan. And his lease was up. And we said, we're spending so much time together anyway. We're going to live together. So everything went very, very quickly. And I think in a relationship that has, someone with bipolar, I think that can be bad a lot of times. But for us, thankfully it worked out, and we, got married and had a child, and, it went it went well. It's going well. But, there are times when it's hard. And I think, especially, anytime, but if there's someone in a relationship with bipolar, communication is everything. You have to have great communication. I'm a talker. I'm already kind of big on communicating. Bryan he's a talker as well, probably even more so than me, but he did have to try a little harder to become really communicative and just making sure he was telling me how he felt. Because sometimes I think if someone has bipolar in the relationship, it can sort of become all about them, especially if they're having symptoms. And that really isn't fair. And that's not how it should be, I think. So he has to make sure that he has the support he needs and that he is sort of going out and getting his alone time and, just refilling his cup as well as I am, because I need it too. But I don't want to discount the needs of the partner of the person with bipolar, because they are just as important, maybe more so at times. Another thing, a friend of mine, her grandma told her, in marriage, there are going to be good years and bad years. And it sounds kind of depressing when you first hear it, but really, it's true. We've been married 10 years, and there have probably been some years that weren't as good as others. And they were harder for a lot of reasons, and some of it might have been the bipolar. And I'm willing to admit that. That is, a relationship is not perfect, and you have to work really hard at it. And there are going to be disagreements, and there are going to be times you're not on the same page. When that happens for Bryan and I, we've done couples therapy. We've done couples therapy here and there throughout our marriage when needed. And I think that should be normal and normalized. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. The times we've done therapy, it's been extremely helpful. And I'm proud of the fact that we find our relationship is so precious to us that we're willing to go and get help when we need it. Because for us, some people disagree on this, but we put our marriage first. Our marriage comes before anything. It comes before our child. It comes before anything else that's going on in either of our lives. Because for us, it works better that way, and, sort of like working from the top down. And I'm proud of the fact that our marriage, we just have a great rapport and chemistry, and we spend a lot of time together outside of, with our daughter. We just have fun together, and we enjoy being with each other. And I think after all these years, there's something to be said for that. I think it's really great. So that's why I think we're going to just keep going and get even stronger, and we'll be in that 10% of marriages who make it. That's pretty much all I have today. I hope you did have a great Valentine's Day. Even if you're single, you need to love on yourself. I loved on myself yesterday, or on Valentine's Day, I should say. Even though, I'm in a relationship, I think it's important. So take care of yourself, everyone. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. All right. Again, this is Jess with Our Bipolar signing off. Bye.